Ye has so much drama around him right now, and it's such a hot topic.
Listen, I'm all for freedom of speech. I don't condone hate, though.
I don't condone hate yet. Even his best friend, Candace, wouldn't even have him on her podcast.
I was hopeful that it did not come. You never want to see anybody lose that amount of money, especially somebody of the black races where we don't have that many billionaires.
I really hope that Kanye takes this as a life lesson, not just a learning lesson, but a life lesson.
Yeah, man. So, all right, our first topic, Kanye. You know, after his firestorm of a week earlier this month, and where he wore the White Lives Matter shirt, and then gets on Twitter with his anti-Semitic tweets, and then his press runs where he continued to spit out anti-Semitic verbiage. Kanye has now been essentially canceled by every company that he worked with. It goes from Adidas, Gaps, Balenciaga, his talent agency or his management company, and a whole host of other cancellations that he's had or disassociations that he's had. You know, you have Jaylen Brown and Aaron Donald saying they no longer want to be represented by Donda. Is it Donda Sports?
Donda Sports, yep.
Donda Sports. But the one that's most devastating that everybody knows about is Adidas cutting ties with him, which essentially loses him his billionaire status in the world. So my question to start out, Sticks, is how are we feeling about Ye losing his billionaire status?
Man, it's crazy because it literally all happened within the past 2 weeks, bro. Two, maybe 3 weeks that he's been going like wild, like crazy. But it's funny because I was thinking about a lot of different American stars, and no American icon has ever self-destructed so spectacularly. Because Kanye had it all, bro. Like power, wealth, status, but obviously it won't enough because he's been over the past, like I would say decade, maybe decade and a half. He's been doing a lot of weird stuff,
right?
And I know we talked about it a couple of weeks ago where it had to be when his mom passed, because he talked about when she passed that he kind of blamed himself for it, but I don't think he ever really got over it. But I will get into that later. But like his real like break into being like a superstar and like being all out of his own and getting out of Jay-Z's shadow was back in 2009. That's whenever he dropped 808s Heartbreaks. That's whenever he had his first invitation to Fashion Week in Paris with his with his clothing line. He partnered with Louis V. He had the new shoe deal with Nike, and that was like the first ever non-athlete to get a contract with Nike. But it was like it wasn't enough. Like his ego was so heavy that he needed more and more and more and more. And like over the past like decade and a half, the only person that could stop Kanye was himself. And he literally imploded over the past year, bro. Yep. Literally imploded. And with him losing his billionaire status, whenever Adidas took that $1.7 billion away from him, bro, in that contract, it was like it was $2.1 billion and then $400 million instantly. I was like, God, like, but
which is still like,
exactly. You still a $400 million. There's nothing to sneeze at, for real. Right. But 2.1, nigga, that
2.1 is fall like that,
bro. 2.1 billion is even crazier because he was. I know, although he said he was the richest man in American history, richest black man, which wasn't true, but he was at one point. I have it pulled up right here. He was at number 5, richest black person in American history. Yep. But he was only behind Jordan, Oprah, David Stewart, and a gentleman named the richest black man was an investor named Robert F. Smith.
Smith.
But it's like, bro, like what you think, bro? What you think about the fall from his billionaire status, bro?
The fall from grace for Kanye, and I mean, it's like that meme that's out right now. The F around and find out. The more you F around, the more you find out.
Yep.
The thing that killed me about Kanye, and I mean, I saw this coming. I was hopeful that it did not come. You never want to see anybody lose that amount of money, especially somebody of the black races where we don't have that many billionaires that walk in America, black billionaires, that is. But you saw this coming. The thing with Kanye is he went on Drink Champs and said he can say anti-Semitic stuff. He didn't say stuff, but he said, I can say anti-Semitic stuff and Adidas won't drop me. Now what? I can say anti-Semitic stuff and Adidas won't drop me. Now what? He effed around and he found out. Now what? He found
Now
out. Now
what?
what? Right? Because now you go from, as you mentioned, $2.1 billion of your net worth and what you have to 400 million. That's a large drop.
Good gracious.
I mean, he was so braggadocio
He was,
and
bro.
boastful about being a billionaire, and it just kind of, I won't say he was belittling people as well in these last couple weeks. I don't think he was doing that before this
not
little
as
stretch
much
of
other
craziness he had.
than Taylor Swift, but that's neither here
Right.
nor there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But like, he was like real, I'm a billionaire, you should be listening to me. We was talking to Pierce Morgan, who, I mean, say what you want to about that guy, but stuff like that to me rubs me the wrong way. I'm sure it rubs other people the wrong. Well, obviously it rubbed other people the wrong way, but it's just crazy. Like you said,
Yeah, man.
When I think about it now, I didn't have that thought in my mind coming into our podcast today, but it might be the most devastating. What you say? The
most spectacular fall from grace. No
Yes.
icon has ever self-destructed so spectacularly.
It might be the most spectacular fall from grace. Honestly,
because I even looked up a couple of people, right, that also had some kind of falls from grace, right? So Michael Vick didn't fall from grace like that. Joe Paterno didn't really fall from grace like that. Even Roseanne, he kind of did. He kind of did.
No,
but it wasn't as crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The reason I was gonna say for those two, Michael Vick's fall from grace was jail time, and then he came back and was able to kind of recoup.
Crazy, right?
He was able to recoup most of that. Joe Paterno's fall from grace, a couple years later, he died.
True.
So like he didn't really, while in the meantime of him going through that, being fired from Penn State and all that stuff, and we're getting off topic, but still, he died literally 2 years later or a year and a half later.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so and I don't know anything about Roseanne.
But Roseanne, she at one point she dressed up as Hitler for Halloween.
Wait a minute.
What? She dressed up as Hitler and said some racist statements about a White House advisor who was a black woman. But
Condoleezza Rice?
Nah, I forget the name. I should have wrote the name down. But it's another young lady. But she got canceled for her show. Got canceled because of those things. But she's still on TV on that talk show with what is it? The talk. She was still doing the talk for a little while. You see what I'm saying? So even her doing those two things didn't even fall from grace as crazy as Kanye did. So it's like this dude really. It's like. But a lot of the things that he had been doing happened within the past year with Kim K and him going back and forth with Pete Davidson, him wearing a White Lives Matter shirt, you know what I'm saying? Him using that as a platform to talk about his right-wing topics. Not even a couple of days later, you know what I'm saying? He went literally, in the words of Robert Downey Jr., full retard and started saying stuff about, DEFCON 3 and anti-Semitic statements about just like, bro, like, although he quickly admitted that he was wrong on Dream Test after Nori kind of forced him to do it. But like, he just kept saying he was jealous of the power they had and the business that they had. But it didn't make things better because in interviews following that, he was echoing those same sentiments about the Jewish people and still being anti-Semitic. So it's like, I'm just like, bro, so that happens. You lose Gap, you lose JP Morgan, you lose, your contract with Creative Artist Agency. You lose a lot of things, and not to mention Adidas, which was your biggest contract. So like, he effed around and found out, for real.
He effed around and found out. But we said this 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, however long ago it was, that he was going to do all of this. And eventually he would come back and apologize and try to recoup our confidence in him or whoever's confidence it is. And I believe it was Thursday when he got back on Instagram, he let off a series of posts where he was saying, he hurt his people, the black people, and he's sorry for that, for the comments he made about George Floyd. He's sorry to the Jews for the stuff that he said about them, but he was really, as you mentioned, upset and jealous is essentially what he was saying about how they do business, how they're able to put everybody in their community on, and how they take advantage of situations.
And he was trying to make it seem like they took advantage of, they profited off of black people. That's kind of what he was trying to say. But yeah, man. I mean, it's like, even with Adidas, they cut them $1.7 billion. They cut them, and it's gonna cost Adidas $2.46 million this last quarter, which is about 10%. Which is because he costed them, I think,
million or billion.
Million. So their earnings this quarter would have been about $246 million, because Yeezy was almost
billion
10%
or million. That don't seem right.
It just quarterly earnings. It ain't got nothing to do with his contract. The quarterly earnings for fourth quarter. So their fourth quarter earnings is going to take a $246 million hit, because Kanye was about 10% of their company. But you had to have done some, which he has done some wild shit over the past couple of weeks, but
for sure
over the past year, really. But it's like
a couple years.
Yeah. So for a company like Adidas to take that much of a hit to their earnings, and they drop you, like, you had to have done something. But I remember when Kanye was a dope, bro, back in 03 to 06, 07, with College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, those classics, bro. All classics. And I still listen to this day. Like, dude was at one point the biggest rapper even over Common, the biggest rapper in Chicago. Like, he was bigger than Russell Simmons at Def Jam. He was bigger than Diddy as a producer at one point. Like, he was with Virgil at Louis V. But like, over these years, bro, he just kind of, after 2007, when Donda died, it was a wrap. It was a wrap, bro. Yeah. It was a wrap, bro.
And it's crazy that he's spitting out all of this nonsense. Regardless, I don't want to say regardless, but he's spitting out all of this nonsense about Jews, and other races, but he's also spitting out stuff about black people, especially after we learned about his mother's background and his father's background, and how they were closely tied to the social movement for black people and what they stood for. And then you come out and say this. Listen, I'm all for freedom of speech. I don't condone hate, though.
I don't condone hate. Yeah, that's
true. I mean, you can tell the truth about certain situations, and that's fine. But don't be promoting hate. And I don't think that was really his intent. It just came off that way, and he just ran with it. It's like, I'm not gonna back down from it. But yeah, he's just been doing some wild stuff.
He has, bro.
Especially this last year, but really in the last 5-6 years, honestly.
Man. So what year was it? So he interrupted Taylor Swift. That was back in like 2009 at the MTV Music Awards.
Yeah, I think so. That's right.
So he did something that, then went on to marry the modern day Marilyn Monroe and Kim K, and then cussed out Sway.
Yeah,
somebody he didn't have all the answers, but then ended up coming back and say he did have the answers, which is kind of crazy. But then
that's who Kanye.
But that's who Kanye is, like you said. You've been saying that.
We have to know that. We have to know that. That's who he is. He's gonna do something to get attention. Somehow it works out in his favor. I don't know how.
Yep.
And then the backlash hits, and he apologizes because he doesn't want to be the confrontational, the backlash type person. He doesn't want to be at the center of controversy.
True.
I'll say this. I don't think he truly wants to be the center of controversy. Right. It just happens to follow him. It just happens to be, that's who he is. That's how he comes off. So he comes back and apologizes for it because he doesn't want to be that person.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
but then he'll say that and apologize and do something else dumb. Like he'll apologize to Sway, and then like the next year, Buddy was in bed with Donald Trump and talking about slavery was a choice.
Slavery was a choice. Well, him signing that contract with Adidas, and we're about to get into it. Them still being able to own everything that he's done with them in the last couple of years and still profit off of it. That was your choice to sign that contract.
Mm-hmm. But
so how you feel about that, bro? With Adidas being able to still keep the products that the Yeezy line produced with Adidas and just rebrand it as Adidas moving forward and still profit off of the Yeezy brand?
I think it's kind of I think Adidas is kind of legit whack for still trying to profit off of Yeezy, and but the only thing is Adidas doesn't own the branding Yeezy, but they own the designs.
The designs, exactly.
They own the designs. So technically, they have right to sell the design, right? And just rebrand. They have right to do that. But it's kind of whack to continue to profit off of it. I don't think they should do it, honestly. But they just. I mean, I think it's corny. I think it's fucking corny.
It ain't kind of whack. It is whack.
It is whack. Well, there you go.
You don't want anything to do with the person that the brand stands for, and that the brand is really.
Mm-hmm.
But so you get rid of them, cut the money that you have to pay to them, but you then in turn around say, we don't want this person, but we'll take all of this product that they represent, which is the Yeezy shoes, clothing, whatever it is, and we're gonna still profit off it moving forward, just under strictly the Adidas
brand. Right?
That's whack.
That shit's whack as hell. That
is lame.
It's lame as hell.
Because, and this is why people don't like corporations, because they do shit like this. They will use and chew up people as much as they want to, but still, at the end of the day, it's all about the dollar or the money, revenue that they're bringing in.
For sure.
It's like they don't care about, all they care about is the image that they have with the public, and nobody else that they work with, and nobody else that works for them. If you're helping them, they're great. If you're not, get the hell out the way and bring in the next person. You know what I'm saying?
But they're never gonna find a personality or a icon as big as what Kanye was. You know what I'm saying? And I think with them, it sucks to say this, but it's kind of true. I think with them actually dropping Kanye and dropping that $1.7 billion, it's gonna be because I can't even say that, because Yeezy was making so much money through Adidas, because this new generation was buying up those ugly ass fucking foam runners and those slides, and even some of those ugly designs that they had with the Yeezys anyway. I was like, some of them was cool, but I didn't really much like them. I've never bought any. I know you said you hadn't either.
Nah, man, I don't own any Yeezys, and I definitely don't plan on buying any Adidas branded Yeezys moving forward.
At all.
Yeah.
At all.
It's just bad energy.
It is very much so bad energy. So it's like, I don't. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it was bad energy for Kanye. This is how all this stuff ties in together. It was bad energy for Kanye when he said slavery was a choice, and energy spun the block on him and was like, okay, well, slavery was a choice. Well, go ahead, sign that contract. He signed that contract, said the stuff that he said, not thinking Adidas was going to drop him. They dropped him. He loses his billionaire status. So now Adidas is in basically that same position that they put Kanye in. Is they were already, their stock was already hurting before all of this came out. And then now they dropped Yeezy, Ye, as what he goes by now. And so, and they plan on to continue to sell that shoe or those shoes that he's made them so much money off of. We're going to see. So we talked about Steph Curry and Under Armour 4 weeks ago. We're going to see now where Adidas goes with their designs and whatnot, and how they benefit or how they don't benefit from what they have done or what they plan to do moving forward.
But see, I don't see any of those designs selling, because with the negative attention that Ye has been bringing, you know what I'm saying, Adidas here recently, or just the negative attention that he has, period. Why do they feel like that those designs are going to sell? Like, ain't no Jewish people going to buy them. And like a lot of black folk aren't really on Yeezy side right now either, because so why do you think that rebranding the shoes and rebranding those designs are going to sell just because you took his name off of them. They still know it's a Yeezy, bro. Like the design
Right.
ain't
I don't
changing.
exactly. I don't think the actual Adidas branded design sells, but supposedly or reportedly, based off of StockX numbers,
I was about to say
uh,
that. I was about to say
the
that.
Yeezys, the current Yeezys, have like skyrocketed
Skyrocketed.
for
The resale
people
value
wanting
of
to
those
have their
joints are
hands on it. Right,
crazy.
their resale is crazy right now, which is kind
Crazy.
of weird. If and that lets you also know, we could get into this too, is what the media, the narrative that the media tries to portray and what's actually going on in the streets.
Right.
Because if you listen to the media, everybody hates Kanye, and
True.
rightfully they probably
And
actually
rightfully
do,
so. Yeah, true.
and rightfully so. Here nor there, but
Right.
what actually go and or the last thing about Yeezy is nobody wants his clothes. Goodwill doesn't want any more Yeezys.
I saw that too. That's
XYZ,
crazy.
you know what I mean? But people are buying them and the value has skyrocketed. That doesn't make sense.
So the difference between, so of course I'm a sneakerhead. So there's
Yeah.
a difference between, these big companies wanting to do anything with his product and the buy, sell, trade
I get that.
arena. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
somebody like me back in the day when I used to actually buy, sell, and trade shoes and like
Mm,
put my shoes on StockX and things of that nature, that has nothing to do with retail.
right.
People feed into drama. People feed
Hmm.
into those things. So if it's something going around Yeezy and people are and people within that StockX community and the GOAT community and even the eBay resale community, they're going to see that, oh shit, these people are buying these shoes like crazy. I need to up my values or put a new price tag on them joints. So they'll go from somebody reselling a pair of Yeezy 750s for 250, and then
Hmm.
they'll research and see, oh damn, this person's selling hers for 400, this person's selling his for 450. I need to put mine at 475, and it'll still sell because Ye has so much drama around him right now, and it's such a hot topic, and people are like really like, oh, I need to buy me some Yeezys now. I need to support. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
that's the difference. Ain't nothing. These companies ain't got nothing to do with the buy sell trade community because they gon' up their prices regardless. The resale community is so crazy, bro. It's so
Right.
crazy. Because I remember
No.
you could probably get a pair of Yeezys back in the day for like 175 retail, but they'll buy all of those shoes and resell every single pair for about double the price at 350.
Right.
So it has nothing to do with the resale. Goodwill ain't got nothing to do with the resale community, bro.
No. I get that. The point I was trying to make was that the media will paint this narrative as
Mm-hmm.
nobody wants his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants his product because of all the anti-Semitic, all of the anti-black information that he's putting out.
True.
But in reality, that's not the case. You have people buying his shoes, whether it's resale or actual retail. They're actually buying his products.
Right.
So, and how this ties all together with the Adidas point is, yeah, their stuff is selling now, but when they rebrand it as just Adidas and rather than Yeezy, how is it gonna do? And I'm
True.
thinking based off of the energy that they're putting out with basically doing wrong by Kanye and by the whole culture, they're not going to fare well in the future. But who knows? We'll see. Is what I was trying to say.
Yeah, true. But I mean, it's so many of these companies that are, you know, he's a former Forbes list billionaire, but they paint him as this toxic asset to the point
Hmm.
where like even his best friend Candace wouldn't even have him on her podcast, and he was supposed to buy Parlor from her
Hmm.
husband, but now he don't even want to sell to him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's like,
Yep.
and we ain't even brought this up yet. He pulled up the sketches unannounced and got shoot off.
Yeah. I
You
saw
know what
that.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he trying to sell his designs to Skechers now. Like,
Well, I just think he's trying to find a manufacturer that will help him put out his design. And what I think he trying to do
mhm,
is find a American manufacturer to
yeah,
do all of this.
yeah,
But somebody, I forgot who it was, but what somebody said is that, oh no, it was Rashad Bilal from Earn Your
okay,
Leisure.
got you.
He said what he feels like Kanye is going to end up doing, or what he
I think I saw
should
that
do.
post on Instagram too.
Yeah, what he should do is go duck off to China
I saw
for
that.
6 to 8 months,
Mm-hmm.
work out with one of those manufacturers that'll sell them, that'll manufacture his shoes or his products, and then pop back up online and sell his products.
Like an online
Because
boutique.
China has an infrastructure. They
Yeah,
make everything anyway.
yeah.
They have the infrastructure to take that on. They don't care about any of they definitely don't care about any of the politics that's going on in America right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Kanye, but what Rashad said was he has enough not will, but enough clout and enough power
Mm-hmm.
to get the dollar to come in for the Chinese manufacturer. And so
Yeah,
he
I
feels
saw
like
that
that would
post.
be a good move for him.
It would be.
I
I
don't
think it
know.
would.
I don't know
You don't
how
think
well
so?
it would be
Well,
received. I
yeah.
just don't know. I don't know how well it would be received, especially for right now. I guess in time we could tell he definitely wouldn't be able to do it right now.
Right.
But maybe in a year and a half, 2 years, once again,
Once things
all of this
calm down a
dies
little bit.
down, he'll probably be able to pull it off. But right now, I don't know. My thing is, what I hate about this whole situation, I don't feel sorry for Kanye,
At all.
but what I don't like is how, again, we talk about the media is painting this narrative, is how
Mm-hmm.
boastful they were of him losing his billionaire status.
Yeah, true, bro.
And
Yeah,
it's like
man.
as soon as it came out that Adidas was dropping him, as soon as all of that was publicly known, my timeline, Twitter, Instagram, blah blah blah, all the media headlines, Kanye or Ye no longer billionaire status no more. I even saw
Mm-hmm.
one that said billionaire status no more with a smile emoji on it.
That's
What?
tough. I didn't see
I mean,
that
that's
one.
tough. That's tough. I mean, again, I
Like,
don't feel sorry for him. He dug this hole for himself,
he made his
but
bed. He
the
got to
way
lay in it
the
now.
exactly the way the media portrays the way the media is doing him right now, I don't think they would
Mm-hmm.
do anybody else this way. Whether they took on the boastful
True.
way that he bragged about his money or not, I don't see them doing
See, did they do?
Elon Musk like this. I don't see them doing
Okay.
anybody, you know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
mean, Elon Musk isn't as
Well,
boastful
maybe. Well,
as
he is, but Elon Musk has been known to be an asshole, though. You know what I'm saying? Like he has been known. So
exactly.
they might just because of who Elon Musk has painted himself to be. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
He hasn't done no crazy stuff like what Kanye's been doing over the past
exactly.
decade and a half. But at the same time, it's like they might not go as hard, but the media was still probably not. That's tough. Elon is tough because Elon has been known to be an asshole, but
Exactly.
so Elon is tough to say, but I don't think they would. I agree with you though. I don't think they would have boasted so much for that fall from grace as hard as they did for Kanye because they definitely went hard and
Right.
just all these posts, bro. And it's nah, I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to get into no racial type of things, but
Right.
there's a lot of undertones going on, a lot
Right.
of undertones. So I mean, it's just weird. It's so many people because he was supposed to have Camille Vasquez, who was Johnny Depp's lawyer, to do his
Mhm.
divorce thing, but she won't even touch him now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
I mean, he definitely has put himself in this corner. He has to fight his way out. I definitely believe that. But we have to offer people grace.
yeah, yeah, agreed.
You
I
know
agree.
how I am about situations. We are more complex individuals than we realize.
Mm-hmm.
Every situation is not linear.
Right.
So what works for you doesn't work for me. When I get into trouble, my way out of it isn't the same as your way, and so on and so forth for any individual.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think the media and today's age and climate that we're in with social media and everybody, getting news immediately doesn't help us offer anybody grace, which is kind of
Gotcha.
why this movement for freedom of speech and censoring and canceling individuals is so toxic because it makes you not want to say anything or reluctant to say anything
True.
because you aren't offered any grace when you make a mistake. Now,
Yeah,
granted,
that's true.
Kanye has made way, way too many mistakes,
Way too
but
many,
I
bro.
feel like we still should offer him at least a little bit of grace and really dig into what
Yeah.
he is trying to say rather than just take it for face value.
True.
Um, again, he doesn't help himself with his arrogance. So maybe the grace that we offer him is super small,
True.
but at least offer him a little bit of grace.
At least offer a little bit. I mean, and it just goes back to what we said, what I'm saying, a couple of weeks ago, man, is that Kanye has some mental health issues that he needs to work out. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
I lost my mom. It was hard. Lost my grandma, lost my dad, lost my uncle, lost a lot of, very, very important people in my life. The most important
Yep.
people in my life.
Yep.
Growing up. So I don't think he gave himself a lot of a proper time to heal from that. And
Mm-hmm.
he needs to figure out exactly how he can deal with it, because it's driven him, for lack of a better term, crazy
Mm-hmm.
since she passed away. So, I mean, he just got to figure it out, man. He got to figure it out, because he has dug himself a hole, and he's almost dug himself a grave, because he's
For sure.
losing a lot, bro. He's losing a lot. He's lost a lot, and I don't want him to get to a situation where he loses everything because of the
Right.
things that he's saying and the thought process that he has. And I think Kanye means well. He just has a bad way of relaying the messages.
He has a terrible way of relaying the messages.
Yeah, bro.
It's like he runs with the conspiracy theories.
Yeah, he does. He does.
But I
I think all
this
of
is
these
gonna
theories are his theories, though. Like
you
he's
think
like,
so?
yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
I think a lot of the things that he goes off on are things that he thinks within his own mind. I don't think it's like a lot of things that are out in the public, because a lot of this, bro, like the
It's not common knowledge.
it's not,
It's not.
yeah, correct,
Yeah.
and it's
So that's
yeah.
why I said. That's why. And I hate that I be cutting you off. I
No, you're good.
apologize
You're
about
good.
that.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
But that's why I kind of stopped and said, "You think it's just his?" Because, and this could be another topic for another day. Now
Right.
you have Kyrie coming out and saying he didn't say anything anti-Semitic, but
Right.
he posted something that the mainstream media said had anti-Semitic undertones in it. I think I'm
I
gonna
didn't see that.
I
No, we're
think I'm
talking
gonna
about, yeah,
take
you're
a
talking
look
about
at it to see just exactly what it is, and then draw my own opinions on it. I like to do that rather than just go off of what people say. But
right.
I think for if you're not in a certain level of status or you're not floating in certain circles, the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that is talked about in those circles aren't talked about
In
in the
our
wide
circles.
variety in
Yeah.
our circles. So it to us it does seem like and this is a thought. This
Mm-hmm.
is not fact. I don't know for sure.
Right.
To us it seems like a conspiracy. To them is just what they see on
It's just
a
common knowledge to
everyday
them, but
basis,
it's not to
common
us.
knowledge, right? Right. So we say that they're conspiracy theories, but we don't really know.
Yeah, true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So let us know what you think about that in the comments down below. Yeah, we'd be happy to hear what you think about it.
For sure. For sure. What's your final thoughts on the Kanye thing, bro?
So my final thoughts about Kanye is, I stand on everything I said about him in previous weeks. I think he needs to be held accountable for the stuff that he has done, his actions, his statements that he's made. But again, complexity.
Mm-hmm.
I do think we need to offer him some type of grace, hold him accountable, make him understand the stuff that he said is hurtful or has been hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be spewing out that type of stuff because him as an individual may not mean any harm, but to the people that follow him or take his statements to heart that
Mm-hmm.
can do harm, they will do harm.
Right.
So he needs to chill with all of that. Uh, and as I knew he would, he has come out and apologized, but this is only
Mm-hmm.
after he's lost his billionaire status
Mm-hmm.
for the anti-Semitic, anti-Black statements that he's made.
For sure.
One thing we did not talk about, and we can have a whole nother topic about it, is what took these companies so long to release Ye.
True.
And we didn't talk about it, but
Mm-hmm.
we can talk about it, another podcast, another segment, another podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been saying stuff like this for so long. I think it's about time that unfortunately he was humbled.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things where, it finally just boiled over. And a lot of the things that he had been doing over the past decade and a half, it just, it was just the straw that broke the camel's back at this point. And, I really hope that Kanye takes this as a life lesson, not just a learning lesson, but a life lesson, because he's on the path to, he's already self-destructed. But he's on the path to legit losing everything, and he just needs to, number one, kind of get some help, but then look inward to understand that, bro, I gotta chill. I really gotta chill because I'm doing too much. I've been doing too much. I can't do no more. So hopefully he does that.
Right.
Bad timing for Britney. Smuggling is crazy.
But you probably shouldn't do illegal shit in other countries. Point blank, period. Right?
Bingo. Is smuggling?
9 years for it. But have you been to jail in any other country? No. So you don't know what they're going to. That's why I said what I said.